Okay, so have you ever noticed how cats can be like super cuddly 1 minute and then bam, they're attacking your
Well,
ankles?
it's like they have a split personality or something. All sweet and innocent, and then...
Total ninjas.
Exactly. So today we're going to do a deep dive into all things cat aggression.
We've got like a ton of sources for this one, from vet journals to like funny cat memes and all that.
We're going to try to help you figure out what's going on in your cat's head and...
Most importantly, like how to keep all your limbs intact.
Right, because nobody wants to be covered in cat scratches all the time.
No, for sure.
Hmm.
So first things first is this aggression thing, like a cat conspiracy to drive us crazy.
Well, not exactly. I mean, cats aren't actually plotting against us, but they do have their own way of communicating, and sometimes that involves, teeth and
Huh.
claws.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd stick to like meows and head boops, but I guess it's not really their style.
No, it's not. But the important thing is to understand that not all aggression is the same. There are different types, each with its own triggers and solutions.
Okay, so it's not just like a one-size-fits-all cats being a jerk
Hmm.
situation.
Exactly. You got to be a little bit of a detective and figure out what's going on. Like, let's say your cat suddenly attacks you while you're just chilling on the couch.
Well, that's happened to me way too many times.
Right. So was it like a playful pounce or something more serious? We've got to decode your cat's inner ninja to figure that out. Our sources, they actually break it down into 5 main types: play aggression, fear aggression, redirected aggression.
Okay, wait, hold on. There are 5.
Yep, territorial aggression, and then pain or illness-induced aggression.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in.
It is, but don't worry, we'll break it down.
Yeah, because honestly, sometimes I can't even tell the difference between like a playful swat and a I'm about to draw a blood swipe.
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely a subtle art, this whole cat language thing.
It really is. So let's start with that first one, play aggression.
Okay, so play aggression, you see this a lot in younger cats. Those little bundles of energy who are just figuring out how to be, well, cats.
Right, they're like tiny, adorable predators learning how to hunt.
Exactly. They're honing their skills. The problem is sometimes those skills involve using your hand as a scratching post.
Or your ankles is a punching bag.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there.
Oh, yeah. One of our sources described it perfectly. They said, it's like the cat is saying, I'm not attacking you, I'm practicing my ninja skills.
But like with actual ninja skills.
Exactly. But the good news is, play aggression, it's not malicious. It's just them being cats.
Okay, so how do we stop them from using our hands as chew toys?
Redirection is key. Give them something else to attack.
Like those feather wands or those crinkle balls they go crazy for?
Exactly. Anything that'll spark their predatory instincts, but in a safe way.
Because, let's be real, there's nothing funnier than watching a cat go nuts over a catnip mouse.
Oh, absolutely. Well, unless they miss the mouse and faceplant into the wall.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty funny too. But seriously, playtime is super important, right?
Absolutely. A tired kitty is much less likely to attack your ankles.
So like a good play session is like sending them to the gym.
Exactly. In fact, try scheduling a play session like 15 minutes before they usually get those crazy zoomies.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it can really help redirect that energy.
Okay, so note to self, buy more cat toys and schedule more play dates.
Got it. Now, what about when it's less playful and more like a full-on hissy fit?
Ha, you're talking about fear aggression.
Yeah, like when they see the vacuum cleaner and think it's a monster.
Or the mailman. Some cats, they really hate the mailman.
Oh, tell me about it. My cat acts like the mailman is like a fire-breathing dragon.
It's all about perspective, right? But really, fear aggression is a natural response when they feel threatened.
Okay, so what kinds of things could be freaking them out besides, the obvious stuff? It could be anything new or unfamiliar, like a new piece of furniture, or even just a change in your routine. Remember, cats are creatures of habit.
Makes sense. They like their world to be calm, quiet, and full of tuna.
Exactly. So when they encounter something new, it can be really scary for them.
So how do we deal with a scaredy cat?
The key is to give them space and understanding. They're not being difficult, they're genuinely scared.
It's not like they're hissing for fun.
Right. It's more like, dude, back off. I'm freaking out here.
Yeah, totally. It's like when we need some alone time when we're stressed. Nobody likes being told to smile more when they're having a bad day.
Exactly. So give them space, let them hide if they need to.
And then what? Like, do we just wait for them to come out?
You can offer gentle words and maybe a few treats when they reappear.
Okay, so no forced interaction.
Right. You want to create a positive association with whatever scared them.
So we're basically cat therapists now.
Think of it more like being a supportive friend. You know, you wouldn't force a friend who's having a panic attack to, like, go party, right?
True. Although, I'm not sure my cat would appreciate chamomile tea. Maybe some catnip-infused tuna water.
Now you're thinking like a cat owner.
All right, so we've covered play aggression and fear aggression. What about that redirected aggression thing? I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
This is when they, like, see another cat outside and then take it out on us, right?
Exactly. It's like they can't get to the source of their frustration.
So we become the punching bag.
Pretty much. One of our sources called it a feline hissy fit. They see something that upsets them, but they can't get to it, so they take it out on the nearest target.
And that target is usually us. Fun.
Ha!
So how do we handle this one? Because I'm pretty sure yelling back doesn't work.
You're right. Yelling or punishing your cat will only make things worse. They're not trying to be bad, they're just overwhelmed.
So what do we do?
Distraction is key. Try using toys or food to redirect their attention.
Ooh, like a magician's trick. Poof, look,
Yeah.
a feathery distraction.
Exactly. And sometimes closing the blinds can help. Block the view of whatever's upsetting them.
So out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. And just giving them some space to calm down can make a big difference.
All about damage control, not discipline.
Exactly. You got to understand their triggers and help them manage their frustration.
Okay, that makes sense. So now we're moving on to territorial aggression.
Ah, yes. The "this is my house and you're just renting" type of aggression.
You got it. Like when you bring a new pet home and your cat is not happy about it.
Right. Imagine your cat's inner monologue. Who is this fluffy intruder and why are they eating out of my bowl?
And using my litter box. And flipping on my favorite sunbeam.
Exactly. All very valid concerns from a cat's perspective. So how do we prevent World War Meow?
Well, based on what we've learned so far, I'm guessing slow introductions are important.
Absolutely. You don't want to just throw them together and hope for the best. Start by separating the cats.
Like keep them in different rooms.
Yep. Maybe let them sniff each other under the door or through a baby gate. That way they can get used to each other's scent without feeling threatened.
Okay, so like a feline meet and greet, but with a barrier for safety.
Exactly. And one of the most important things is to make sure each cat has their own resources.
Like their own food bowls, litter boxes, all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because in the feline world, sharing is not always caring.
Right. Competition for resources equals tension and hissing.
Exactly. Minimize those potential conflict points.
Okay, this is all making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we've covered, what, 4 types of cat aggression now? Play, fear, redirected, and territorial.
That's right.
But I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here. There's a lot more to learn about our feline friends.
Oh, absolutely. We still have to talk about pain-induced aggression and all those calming strategies.
Right, like how to create a zen den for our cats.
Exactly. But we'll save all that for part 2 of our deep dive. All right, so welcome back, everyone, where we left off talking about those different types of cat aggression.
Right. And I think there's one more we need to cover before we get to the, calming strategies and all that.
Exactly. We got to talk about pain or illness-induced aggression. This one can be kind of tricky because it often seems like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, like one day your cat's all lovey-dovey and the next they're hissing at you for just looking at them.
Right, and it's not because they're suddenly turning into a grump. It's usually a sign that something's wrong.
So it's less about them being a jerk and more about them being in pain.
Exactly. Like if your cat is normally a total cuddle bug and then suddenly they start, hissing or swatting when you try to pet them,
Yeah.
that's a big red flag. It could mean they're hurting somewhere.
Or maybe they have a medical condition that's making them feel grumpy.
Yeah.
A feline version of don't talk to me until I've had my coffee.
Exactly. So if you notice any sudden changes in your cat's behavior, especially if it involves aggression,
Yep.
a trip to the vet is definitely a good idea.
Better safe than sorry, right? I mean, I'd rather have a slightly annoyed cat than a cat who's secretly suffering.
Absolutely.
Plus, my vet bills are probably already funding their vacation home, so, might as well get my money's worth.
There you go.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about those calming strategies.
Yeah.
How to create a more zen-like environment for our feline overlords. Less hissing, more purring.
Sounds like a plan.
So, what are we thinking? Like a cat spa, calming music, aromatherapy candles, maybe a tiny robe and slippers.
Well, maybe not the robe and slippers, but you're on the right track. Our sources really emphasize the importance of creating a calm and predictable environment for your cat. A lot of aggression comes from stress and anxiety, so the more we can minimize those triggers, the better.
Okay, so it's all about making them feel safe and secure.
Exactly. And the first step is actually pretty simple. We need to stay calm ourselves.
Wait, really? You're saying my cat is like a tiny emotional sponge soaking up all my stress?
Think of it more like a mirror reflecting your energy. If you're anxious or agitated, your cat is going to pick up on that.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like that whole don't feed the trolls thing, right?
Mhm.
The more reactive I am, the more likely I am to escalate the situation.
Exactly.
So deep breaths, soothing voice. Got it. What about those pheromone diffusers? Are they like aromatherapy for cats? Because honestly, if they could bottle the scent of a freshly opened can of tuna, I think my cat would achieve nirvana.
Well, while tuna-scented diffusers might be a hit, pheromone diffusers work a little differently. They release these natural chemicals that cats use to communicate with each other, and some of these pheromones have a calming effect.
So it's less about masking bad smells and more about like sending good vibes.
Exactly. You can find diffusers with like facial pheromones, which
Yeah.
create a sense of familiarity, or appeasing pheromones, which mimic those released by a mother cat to calm her kittens. It's like creating a little bubble of peace and security for them.
So basically, it's like turning their home into a giant comforting hug. Sign me up. And speaking of positive vibes, what about that whole positive reinforcement thing? Does that mean we should be handing out treats like candy?
Well, not exactly like candy, but you're on the right track. Positive reinforcement is all about rewarding your cat for good behavior. When they're being calm and relaxed, give them praise, a gentle pet, or a tasty treat.
Okay, so we're basically bribing them to be good.
Think of it more as motivating them. You're teaching them that good things happen when they're chill.
And that's way more effective than, like, yelling at them or squirting them with water.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Punishment never works with cats.
Right, because nothing says I love you like a squirt bottle to the face. Okay. Positive vibes, treats. Got it. Anything else we could do to help our cats chill out?
Well, remember those vigorous play sessions we talked about earlier? Making sure your cat gets enough exercise and mental stimulation is super important.
Right, because a bored cat is a mischievous cat. And a mischievous cat is one step away from a full-blown feline crime spree.
Exactly. Keep them entertained, keep them active.
Got it. Anything else?
Another important thing is providing them with vertical space.
What does that mean? Like build them a cat tree that reaches the ceiling?
Not necessarily that extreme, but you're on the right track. Cats love to climb and explore, so giving them access to high perches, shelves, or even window seats, it makes them feel more secure.
So it's like giving them their own little kingdom to rule over.
Exactly. Plus, it gives them a safe haven if they feel threatened, like their own personal escape route.
Okay, that makes sense. So to sum it all up, we're creating a cat paradise, right? Plenty of toys, playtime, positive vibes, a dash of aromatherapy, and a sprinkle of vertical space.
Sounds about right.
Sounds pretty good, even from a human perspective. But I have a feeling there are still some, like, common cat conundrums that our listeners are dealing with. You know, those head-scratching moments where you're like, why does my cat do that?
You're probably right. And actually, our sources addressed a couple of those frequently asked questions.
Oh, perfect. Let's dive into those. All right, so those frequently asked questions, let's tackle those. The
Yeah.
first one, I think we've all been there. Why does my cat bite me out of nowhere?
Yeah, it's like they have a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on.
Seriously. One minute they're purring and rubbing all over you, the next, bam, teeth in your hand.
And it can be so confusing because it really does seem like it comes out of nowhere.
Right. So are they actually trying to, like, hurt us? Or is it more like they just, I don't know, reach their cuddle limit or something?
It's usually the latter. Overstimulation is a big one.
Okay, so they're not actually plotting our demise. They just, like, have a cuddle quota and then, boom, time's up.
Pretty much. Some cats are just more sensitive to touch than others.
So how do we avoid setting off the, I don't know, the cuddle alarm? Are there, like, warning signs we should be looking for?
Oh, absolutely. Pay attention to their body language. A flicking tail, flattened ears, even a slight pensing of the body. Those are all signs that they're getting overwhelmed.
So basically, if their tail starts looking like a metronome, it's time to back away slowly.
Exactly. It's always better to err on the side of caution when it comes to cat cuddles.
Yeah, I'd rather have a slightly undercuddled cat than a scratched up hand. Okay, so next question. This one's a big one. Is it okay to punish my cat for being aggressive? I feel like I know the answer, but
I think you do. The short answer is no. Never punish your cat for being aggressive.
Okay, so no yelling, no spraying them with water, no banishing them to the cat carrier.
Nope, none of that. Remember, they're not trying to be bad. They're just communicating in the best way they know how. And punishing them will only make things worse.
Right. Because nothing says, I love you, like a squirt bottle to the face.
Hmm.
So what should we do instead?
Focus on that positive reinforcement we talked about. Reward good behavior, redirect their attention when they get agitated, and make sure they have plenty of outlets for their natural instincts.
So basically be proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly. It's about understanding their needs, not punishing them for being cats.
Well said. So it sounds like the key to dealing with cat aggression is really just understanding where they're coming from. Learning to speak their language, even if that language sometimes involves a claw to the face.
Exactly. It's about building a relationship based on trust and understanding.
And maybe, just maybe, with enough patience and understanding, we can convince them that head boops are a much better form of communication than, a bite to the ankle. So before we go, I want to leave everyone with a little something to think about. Pay attention to those subtle ways your cat is trying to communicate with you.
Yeah, those little meows, the way they rub against your leg, even the position of their tail.
It's like a window into their little cat world.
All right, folks, that's a wrap for our deep dive into cat aggression. Hope you learned a few things, had a few laughs, and maybe even gained a deeper appreciation for your feline overlords. Remember, stay curious, keep those scratching posts handy, and may your cat's inner ninja always be on its best behavior.